So this is going to be somewhat of a continuation of the last video. I'm sure that you watched the last video, right? Nonetheless, listen, the main lesson from that video was that you should try new things. And I also wanted to talk about a lot of other things that I couldn't talk about because I thought they were quite important to kind of illustrate not only that lesson, but to just show you the evolution of ideologies. Now, as you guys seen in the last video, or if you haven't, you probably have heard that Sneako has gone to therapy and it seems like it went well for him.
Let me tell you a joke.
Yeah,
knock,
yeah.
knock. Knock, knock.
Yeah. Who's there?
Your dick.
Bomboka!
All right, real quick, man, that clip is out of context, all right? He was explaining to Sneako about how like he tells dick jokes to like clients whenever they're in the flow of the session. I just kind of like took it out of context. I just thought it was hilarious. Anyways, it seems like a lot of people, especially in the red pill ideology, who follow that ideology at least, have been poking holes into the logic and have been scratching their heads thinking to themselves, but does it really work like that? Isn't there another way? And it seems like even the leaders of that ideology who are slowly moving away from it have been trying new things as well. An example of this is Sneako. Obviously, he went to therapy, correct? And according to him, weak men don't go to therapy. Obviously, it seemed like he enjoyed it. And it's not just therapy that he did. He's also playing games, which, believe it or not, a lot of the red pill guys think that games are also an addiction that you should stay away from. And this is Sneako playing games.
Hey, you look ugly as f, man. Get out my face.
Who you talking to? Come here.
You missed. You can't even punch. Get the f out of here. Bop, 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 bop. Bit. Oh, fuck.
That's right, sleep, bitch.
Whoa, hey, that kind of reminds me of Sneako in a way.
50 seconds. Yo!
Respect to Sneako for that, but nah, man, that's evil. Yeah, nonetheless, though, I do recall Sneako having a conversation with Tristan Tate about video games.
But there was a game called, before Fortnite, before it all existed, the huge game when I was in my late teens, early 20s was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
That's how I started doing. I started on Call of Duty.
Okay, good. So I used to play that game. I was with my brother, and I was like, oh, Andrew, I just completed this round. It's 41 kills, 1 death. That's pretty cool. Andrew looks at me from the couch. I swear to God, looks over at me and goes, yeah, Tristan, but it doesn't matter, does it? And I went, fuck, it doesn't matter, does it? And I turned that game off, and I don't think I've ever spent more than 10 minutes playing a video game ever since that day.
Man, don't listen to Andrew and Tristan. They talk about how games suck. Listen, people who don't play games, they have no lives. And when they don't have no lives, that means it's game over. No, seriously speaking though, Andrew told Tristan that it doesn't really matter. But here's the thing though, Andrew, believe it or not, he's actually picked up the controller and started playing games. Sneako, can you do me a favor? Can you drop a bomb? No, seriously, there's video evidence of Andrew playing games with George Janko watching as a spectator. Yeah, that's Andrew playing Super Smash Brothers. And even Fresh and Fit were geeking out about Super Smash Brothers as well.
You play Smash?
Yeah,
you play Smash? If you play Smash, bro, we go live, I'll whoop your ass. Yo, I'll whoop this nigga's ass.
I said there's no homo. Come to my crib, bro. We can play live on air.
Oh,
Wait, Fresh
I'm
and Smash,
bro.
bro. I will murk you, bro. I will pre-stalk you all day, bro.
All right, so I think you get the point, right? So these guys, they used to say that video games were bad, and now they're playing video games, right? Now, I'm not here to showcase you guys that, oh, they're hypocrites, because that's not what I'm about. Obviously, people are going to grow, right? And I see this as a part of their growth. However, because these leaders have constantly told their audience that video games are bad, of course, when the audience watches that, you're going to have a couple of them that are going to question that, or maybe even criticize you on that aspect.
Diplo donated $1. Says he'll play video games occasionally on special occasions.
Occasionally.
Proceeds to play video games the last 5 streams.
Huh?
Content of no value.
F you.
What do you mean you, Sneako. You were the one who helped cultivate that lifestyle for your audience members. Now, you'll either have that kind of reaction or a reaction where the viewer is very pleased with the idea that their favorite content creator that they love to follow is playing video games. Like with Andrew Tate, this commenter said, Tate playing Smash Bros made my day. And of course, if you take a look at the comment down below, me too for reals. And I agree, yeah, bro, like who doesn't want to see their favorite content creator be human? And playing games, that's like a very human aspect nowadays because everybody plays games. I just feel like they just use way too many generalizations to like crap on video games when in reality they want to play games as well.
Why didn't you dump on video games enough? I mean, why play video games? In 10 seconds, I can very quickly sum this up. There's a video game called Gran Turismo where you select which car you want to drive and select which road you want to drive, and then you sit in the house of your mother's basement and pretend to drive that car on that road. I, because I've done the work, pick the car I want to drive because I have all of them, and pick the road I want to drive, and I drive there, and I get to do it IRL. So it's a substitute for real life. That's it. So it's a lazy man's way of feeling like he's achieved something.
It's a lazy man's way of feeling like he achieved something. This is kind of what I'm talking about. That's a generalization. You can see that there's a lot of repercussions when you generalize a lot of concepts, which Andrew Tate and Sneako are known for doing. They generalize almost every single concept. And Andrew Tate kind of admits this when he's talking about depression.
I think that it's massively overdiagnosed. I say depression isn't real because I speak in absolutes.
And of course, he's already came out and talked about that clinical depression is real. The depression that he's referring to is the everyday emotion. But it still doesn't change the fact that Andrew had to come out and specify that, oh no, it's clinical depression that I'm talking about, not the everyday depression that people experience. And even Dr. K came out and pointed out to Sneako how he uses a lot of generalities in his talks. And he also, I really love the way that Dr. K describes it to him as it's an incomplete thought.
I don't actually disagree with a lot of what you're saying. I think I'd say that if anything, I think that your understanding of things I would describe as incomplete, not incorrect. If I had to judge what you say, one area in which you're incomplete is that you tend to make a lot of generalizations.
Now, there are many reasons as to why generalities are bad, but the one I want to talk about is the hypocrisy reason, which when you guys look at these men, they look like hypocrites because in one hand they're saying that games add no value, you should not play them, and then they're playing the games themselves. But I'm sure that if they were to complete those generalities, imagine if Tristan was just to specify a little more as to why games add no value to a certain person, because I'm sure that to some people it may add value. Like for instance, a streamer gets a lot of value from games, but compare that to a person who needs to find themselves and figure out who they are. A game isn't going to add a lot of value. If anything, it's going to distract. And that's the problem with speaking with absolutes and general statements, that you can come off as if you totally hate games and you are completely against them. Even though if someone introduces you to games, you would probably pick up the controller and have some fun. But to other people, like their haters or even people who are a part of their domain, they're going to raise their hand and question like, wait a minute, you said this about games and now you're playing them? Are you going against your word? Do you not believe that video games are terrible for the mind? Well, it's because they never specified that some games could potentially be bad. So again, I want to go ahead and say that I don't view Tristan or even Andrew or even Sneako or Fresher Fit as hypocrites, because this is all a part of the growth. You know, you hate something, you don't like it, and then all of a sudden you get introduced to it and now you love it, or not even love it, but you like it enough to talk well about it.
Video games aren't necessarily evil. But you know, I remember when video games, because I'm very old, I'm an old man. I remember when you used to play a little man in a red hat trying to rescue a princess and teaming up with your brother. Now, if rescuing purity from evil while teaming up for your brother isn't a good theme of a video game, then I don't really know what is.
So the whole idea is just be careful with general statements, because if you're going to go out there and you're going to state absolutes, people are going to hold you to that word and they're going to ask you, wait a minute, you said this and now you're going to say another thing? Because now when someone calls you out and then you try to specify that general statement, then they're going to accuse you of moving the goalposts, when in reality you never really completed that thought because you left it incomplete. Hence, a general statement. But before I go, I want to go ahead and have you guys hear what a general statement sounds like compared to a general statement, but a little more specified. So a general statement will sound something like this. All video games are evil. Obviously, not every video game is evil, right? Paper Mario is not going to teach your kid how to commit Grand Theft Auto, right? But if you wanted to say something a little more general, but you wanted to specify that general statement, like some video games are evil. An example would be Grand Theft Auto, because it can potentially teach the younger folks about crimes. That's a much better statement than just saying that every game is evil, because if you say every game is evil, again, like I can use that Paper Mario example. So that's just an example of general statement. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it there because I don't want to continue to complicate it. So yeah, hopefully you guys understood that. I know it could be a little difficult to understand that, but if you guys did, yeah, man, use it in your everyday life. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. That's all I have for you guys, and yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.